Man, took me ages to actually like finish most of the thing. I still have so many things that I haven't fiddled with, but since like I am doing stuff and chatting at the same time, so I might actually just do my stuff while doing the stream at the same time. Yeah. Like, hold on a little bit. Hold on a little bit. Let me try to scuff up the most of the things that I have here. Copy a shareable link. Man, I'm tired today. I might actually like take a break. I'm not really sure like how long. I just woke up really, really early. And supposedly should be able to start stream very early. But, you know, stuff happens. Also, hi there, Arivi-sampan. My, hold on, I need to grab my waters. Let me drink some water first, okay? Man, I am losing my voice. And also very tired. Very woozy too. Bye. Hold on a little bit. This one is much more better at the moment.
You're making yourself a manga.
Not really a manga. It's like the scheduled streaming stuff if you look closely. I haven't really have the time to finish it because, you know, I'm very busy constantly making animations, making art commissions, making all the promotion material.
What you doing?
Right now, this particular stream is just for chatting and everything, so it's like more dedicatedly. Like, maybe sometimes I read a little bit of like Twitters or like watching some YouTube togethers.
What is
Where's the voice? Because I am the void itself. A void that can talk is non-existent. So more or less, what you're hearing is just an echo from someone yelling inside a void. By the way, for my character, like for like Kiray itself, as like a character law, I am the void itself that learns to talk. When I say generally back then, like most of the time, like when I do my opening, one of the last part actually was I don't sing because apparently, um, usually when you say something related to the voice thing, people would just assume that you do singing. So yeah, I can't sing. I'm very bad at singing. I can't remember any lyrics at all, and I can't catch up with the beat, so I end up like being really, really bad at singing. Technically, here's the thing, like depends on how much you know about science. Void is not like the like when lots of people think the word void, they think about like Cthulhu and stuff, like the who they call the name the author name again, I kind of forgot, but generally it's like the like the Cthulhu stuff, but Lovecraft horror. But the void that I'm referring to is actually like you kind of like reference at being the science part of the void. But yes, the thing is about void. Universe is not the father of void. Void is the thing that cover the entire universe outside the universe. Like you guys have to understand, like for scientific term, usually when we say void is emptiness outside the universe. The universe itself is ever expanding infinitely into the void. Essentially, the light never reach the end. Yes, this is why like the star is infinitely expand into the void. The universe itself is going into the void, but never reach its destinations. So essentially, yeah, my like if you kind of do notice, like my character essentially don't really have a face, but what he have is more or less like a silhouette. So he don't. It's like a blind spot. No matter where you walk around him, you will see like a black hole. Like nah, it's not. It's not that. You might be a little bit confusing on that one. Let me slowly explain it first. Okay. So the existence of Kiray is more or less the void itself. Is like before makeup and after makeup. Okay, I don't really have a face. If you look closely, like underneath my neck and stuff, if I zoom in to let you guys see it, if I move my neck a lot, you guys might spot like something like makeup happening on my neck, and so does to my arm too. My arm and legs like have like a lot of like makeup and stuff like happening here and there. Mainly is because I don't actually really have a face, nor a arm or anything. Technically, I don't have skin colors because the void itself is the also means of the void of light. I really do not have anything on me except putting makeup on my face. So the hair is fake, it's just wig. The eyes is just contact lenses, and the eyeball is just fake glass eye, and the mouth is also artificially like projected on my bodies. And if you again slowly notice, I don't have ears because it's too expensive to like keep slapping makeup on me and those kind of things. So yeah, I don't really have a body. This body entirely is just purely created out of makeup and slapping onto like a silhouette of a body. Imagine you watch like Detective Conan. There's always like that one mysterious like guy that like show in black silhouette. I'm that with the lack of like shading and tone. Uh, it's more like infinite the size. There's no well defined size for the void itself. We do not know what's beyond the void. We only know what's beyond the universe is the void. So essentially, again, I cover the entire universe. Hence, you can see if you peer into my chest, you can see the entire universe in there. Like I just like using like the iPad mode is just like zoom into some random space, so you can see like there's like a galaxy like in some random space that looks cool, and then just play in loop. Now you metaphorically kind of like a little bit wrong on my part, but yeah, kind of is. But again, like scientifically, again, they are infinitely expanding into the void, the universe. So the light itself actually never reached the void. This is why my body is completely like is a black silhouette. Mainly is because of that. Is because I am literally void of color, void of light. So you can see like if I take off all the makeup and everything, I'm just like a black silhouette that's standing right in front of you. Have you ever seen like those kind of Apple MP3 kind of like ad and stuff? Yeah, like, I'm look like those. I'm look like those things. No, no, no. The universe never managed to touch the void. You might have to like watch a lot more Discovery Channel or Discovery Science. I don't know. Um, yeah, the understanding for this is basically it's like this. Um, the void itself, not really sure. They scientists never really sure is what is outside the universe because this is why they call it void itself. Um, may and may not have been antimatter, or is literally like, oh yeah, I'm not going to show my face again. Like showing my face is not like a 24/7 thing. There are many times I'm just too lazy to like take care of my like exterior looking, and I hate blasting gosh dang light on me. Okay, it's not like I'm always available. It's more or less there are times that I want to like show my face. There are times that I'm just too fucking lazy. Again, like try to have like two fucking ring like shooting at your eyeball. Like if you are tired of that for that day, like you just don't want any light shooting into your eyeball, okay? It's really distracting. When you say do you make avatar for friends, are you mean do you mean like making OC for friends? No. No. I do have a manga though, actual manga that I made. Kiray is actually one of the character from the manga, and I'm referencing him and then created this like VTuber model based on him. He actually looks very different from the manga, and like this like VTuber form is a completely different thing. So the manga version, he look a little bit much more like matured and like muscular. How many days I've created my avatar? I don't know. I don't really remember that well. It's been a few years. Um, my first prototype, which I kind of like failed quite a few times. That's like Mark 1. I failed miserably. Mark 2. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing because I never really know like what Live 2D is. I just like assume that I need to draw, and then like I just draw one image, and then like um using that one image as like the puppet like animation stuff. I didn't know layering is like existing in there, so I didn't draw any layer back then, like the separate hand, clothes, eyes, eye slash, those kind of things. Like I can't understand the concept back then, so I failed Mark 2. Same with Mark 3. I don't know how to separate the hair. Well, there is. Like I say again, I haven't like tell you my entire like lore and thingy. Like take some time. Take some time. There's a lot of thing. Don't have to assume it. Don't have to assume stuff first. I will gradually talk about that. Since you asked question B, I'm answering your question B at the moment. Don't suddenly ask A and then ask B and then ask C and then go back to A suddenly. I can't answer everything. It's like try to pretend yourself is like like those kind of conference room that you are reporters. Do ask coherent questions, else you're going to get kicked out from the conference room. Yeah, your ADHD is like showing. But where was I again? Ah, yes. Like how many days I made my avatar? Um, yeah, and then like there's like the Mark 3, Mark 4, and then let me show you the Mark 5, the official model. Yeah. Like allow. Um, hold on. I haven't like switched to a different model for a while. So this is Mark 5, which is my first ever model I made for streaming and stuff. And yeah, it's the eyes is not like fully accurate right now, is because like this thing was not built. Like I did some adjustment for my VGen model. Well, thank you. Hold on, I need to readjust the Gaussian eye. I don't know why my character eye look in like in very weird directions at the moment. IX. Well, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, the character looked a little bit depressed. The one of the reasons is I hope my eyes is like looking at proper. No, kind of messed up the eyes thingy. I don't even know why I behave like that. Actually, there must be something wrong with the XY thingy. But either way, yeah. The it is kind of depressing when I make this like model. I want to become a VTuber a long time ago. It's just that back then I was like a face cam streamer, and I was a very decent streamer around that time. I got like around like 70 to 80 viewer. The problem is COVID happened. I know for a lot of people when this thing about COVID happen, it's like they will, a lot of people become famous because of COVID. For me, I work opposite, because you see my face before, I look like, and I am a Chinese person. So around that time when COVID happened, the Asian hate around that time is really bad. Okay, so it was so bad that I have to went on hiatus because I keep getting hit by a lot of like hate raid, just because I show my face as a Chinese person. Because again, like COVID around the time, like because like people from China being a very bad tourist, caught COVID, become like, you know what? I'm going to travel around the world. And that's how kind of everything started. Like, not a lot of people want to talk too much about it because, like, they would get immediately censored around that time. I'm not sure about now. We can talk about it or not. As time passed, like things become less sensitive. Yeah, Malaysians always get the short end of the sticks when it become like foreign understanding, because like a lot of foreigner do not fucking know what Malaysia is. They have a very wild assumption what Malaysia is. Try to think about this. Malaysia is a Muslim country, okay? And then when other people think about like Muslim country, they think about like things that happen in Congo, things that happen like in the Palestine Israel area, like some of like the people who do like a lot of like terrorism stuff is like from they are mostly are from like Muslim country, like what people think about it. So like end up like the moment they think about like Malaysia's as a Muslim country, they have like a very negative like reaction from it, especially nowadays. You know, there's a lot of like yeah, um, especially like this past like few years, due to all the internal war happening in a lots of like. Here's the thing: not all Muslim is the same. Okay, there are a lots of like different branch of Islamic people that is hating each other's. Imagine like China have like actually like different multiple different places. There's like the Tibet one, the Mongolian, this and that, yeah, that stuff. They fucking hate each other's. Yes, they function in a very very different way. But the problem is like like the place from Dubai, this and that, yeah, the other stuff. That there are a lot of bad example out there that do a lot of like weird ass shit. Okay, and then the war is happening and internal fighting is everywhere, so there's a lot of refugees and like basically like Muslim like refugees like now is like spreading across all over the world. And the thing is like how invasive, I hate to say this, but the religious belief is fine, but the problem is like part of the religious practice is in a way for invasive reasoning, because pilgrimage, this and that, other stuff. They main point they want is to spread the religion as much as possible, right? So the part that if you marry any one of them, you have to be you must join their religion itself. It sounds a bit invasive, right? So a lot of people always like think like the Muslim religion itself is a little bit on invasive on that particular side. Uh, yeah, that's the unique things about Malaysia's. But back to like the sensitive, a little bit sensitive topic about those kind of things. Yeah, like again, it's more or less because the optic like that is like they have a lot of like big issues there. I'm trying to think about this. Like there's a reasons we kept like a certain distance in Malaysia's, like for a lot of like different race. You can definitely see like there's like that person looked like a Malaysian Chinese, that person looked like Malaysian India, that person looked like a Malaysian Malay or like Sarawakian or Sabahan, like all those kind of people. Like you look at them, you immediately can recognize them. Okay, either you be a little bit tiny confused because of the gosh dang fucking sun, we most likely have the same skin colors. But if you can read the fucking complexions, is mostly generally we look very different. But again, um, another things that we have to like really, really, really talk about a lot. Okay, let me have this thing play in the background while I'm doing this. All right, good. So yeah, again, like there's a lot of like stuff like when it comes to it. Like again, like due to like the refugee, like back to roll back to a little bit earlier on, due to the refugee and stuff. they kind of like going to a lot of country, okay? And then not all Muslim is the same. There are people who are a little bit overzealous, and also there are people who are a little bit too over the top, okay? Do you know why Japan started to kick out like Muslim like refugees? Because like they have like refugee area, let them like do the praying and stuff, but when as slowly expanded, letting them do some work, this and that other stuff. I mean, like, you can choose a spot to like do praying, but quite a lot of Muslim people over in Japan, like they don't want to follow Japan customs, and then they decided to choose like, you know what, I'm going on top of this like I'm going to on top of like this like like the bridge that we used to walk across the road and stuff. Like I don't know why they keep picking that area to like do like prayer and stuff, and they basically do a lots of open prayer in the middle of the street. Not even find some like, oh, this is the park area, I can like do that in the park or something like that. But they literally like place out mat in the middle of the fucking road and do the praying. And when people say stop doing that, they say you are disrespecting my religion. I'll be like, holy fuck, you blocking the fucking road here. And then because of that kind of like conflict of a few idiot, so a lot more like people. It's because like I say again, like a lot of Muslim people are really really like, I won't really say zealous, but I do say like they have a really strong belief and strong respect to their own like religion and stuff. So the moment they did some stupid shit and then they try to stop them from praying, they'd be like, "You are very offending to my religion right now." Yeah, it's because of that they try to like do a lot of batshit crazy stuff, like going outside protests, this and that, other stuff, and forcefully like using religion as like the excuse to like force them to make a lot of like mosque and everything, like for them to like do like it's basically that they want to claim a spot in Japan. Okay, in many other people way saying like Japan is already like very very like aware of like like foreigner due to like the Kashmir fucking joining Somali, and then now like they have to deal with that issues. They'd be like, you know what, fuck this, we don't want to deal with any issues like this. Just kick them out. Then like you come to people places to seek help, and then now you just like imagine this thing, okay? Something happened to me. I'm broke now. Either I'm going to live under the bridge or I live in your house. But when I live in your house, I'm eating your food, like taking your water bill because I'm fucking flat out broke. I can't even give you the money to pay for the rent, and I sleep on your fucking couch. And then now I demand that I need a bed because I don't want to sleep on the fucking couch. It's essentially like that. So the optic of like now Muslim across the world is really bad right now. It's basically that kind of things happening everywhere. Happening in UK, happening in Europe, happening like in multiple different places. And then they lots of people don't really exactly blame them for over demanding, but there are people who blame like the country they're kind of like in, that why do they keep having fucking internal strife war so much to the point that people have to like run away from them constantly. Now it's like in everywhere in the world. Most of them is like refugee trying to like it's more like in their eyes, like the way they see it is like a gosh dang excuse for like culture invasion, like you're playing like civilizations game. Yeah, civilization game, you essentially can win by religion too, by just like keep like indoctrinating every single country. But at that point, like due to how Muslim religion is like, again, like if you marry any one of them, you have to like forcefully join into their religion and stuff. So basically, there's like zero religion freedom when it comes to the way how most Muslim country deal with things. So you can look at the only anomaly, mostly I can say the only anomaly is Malaysia. Even Indonesia's can't is not that open with other religions. Malaysia is the one that have like 50%, while being Muslim country is like 15% Muslim. Is like other is like like Orang Asli, like Kadazan, like Buddhist and Christian. I know some people might say like, oh, Brunei is a very different place. Brunei is actually 100% like everyone is Muslim there, and then they actually have lots of like heavy Muslim law. They actually respect like the what they call it again. Um, what is like that like Muslim rule again? Like the de facto like law and rules of like Muslim stuff. Is it? Oh, times have changed then. Back then, where I know is they actually are really on the extremist side on like the Muslim part. They have a lot of mixed blood, but yeah, I guess times like slowly changed, like this and that other stuff. Again, like they do have a lot of mixed blood, so yeah. Hmm. Well, it's a small place, so like, control is much more lax, I guess. But again, it's quite similar. If you want to like compare with again, when I say like the difference is like like Malaysia is actually like a lot of people. Okay, so religious freedom in there is like really really ridiculous at that point. For if any like hyper like Muslim person come to Malaysia's, yeah, it is like that. This is why like it's there's many places. Also like Penang, if you guys like don't know about those kind of things like Port Dicksons and like Penang and Malaccas, those places have a lot more like Buddhist people. It's generally because around that time when they are trading port, they trade with China a lot, like the ancient China back in the days. So they do a lot of like exchange marriages, and like as a trading hub they slowly like flood in more and more like Chinese people in there. And later on like KL also have Chinese people more, is due to the Bichitima stuff. Bichitima I think like for there are more around in Kelantan area and like the KL area those kind of times. Chinese people were hired in here, or like somewhat, like hired to be in here to like be the expert of like Bijitima like mining. Or you guys don't know what Bijitima is? It's just tin. So it's basically they mine a lot of tin in here back in the days. And after like the port like trading stuff, and then like the tin miners, they kind of mix and match. Like we have a lot of things here. Oh, by the way, if you don't know, Malaysia have this like mm, mm. So yeah, like while like entirety of Malaysia is like a Muslim country, we don't behave like one. Just because of that, like again, like the optic is really bad for outsides in many other like Muslim country. The optic is really bad for them. But the problem is like when it comes to Malaysia, we don't behave like one. So when people like the first thing they learn about like Malaysia is a Muslim country, they will be like, eh. Well, compared to a lot of places, we are actually pretty decent, to be honest. But that's the thing. If we go out, okay, if we ever go out to tourists, okay, people will always give us a sting eye. And Malaysian Chinese now is I'm not like bitching around. It's an actual fact that Malaysian Chinese have a way more difficulty going out right now for tourism stuff because we get mistaken as China tourists. And China tourists nowadays, like aside from like American tourists being like quite a lot of them like being a very bad tourist, China tourist is, well, imagine Johnny Somali, but in China versions, and it's every single people, not just one or two of them. So the problem is we go out as a Malaysians, they would give us the sting eye as ew, Muslim country. Or I go out as a Malaysian Chinese, and then I will also get the sting eye of ew, China tourist. So, uh, this is what I can say. Like Malaysian is in that, very very like odd situations, and I haven't even mentioned Malaysian Indian. Okay, Malaysian Indian is always get a shot end of the stick on a lot more stuff, and when they go out, people just assume that he's like Rashim, that going to do like the scam phone call onto you. So yeah, again, we are Malaysian. We literally didn't do jack shit, but we somehow get stick to a lot of the sins of other country we kind of like originate from, which is a very very big issue. Like we literally didn't do jack shit. Anyone actually pay attention like when they actually like decided to be like, you know, really trying to understand what Malaysia is, and they come here to visit Malaysia's this and that other stuff to study a little bit, and then they realize that holy shit, Malaysia is so fucking different. And to be honest, I don't even want to shit on a Muslim. It's more or less like it's just the global issues. The way they have like optic on Muslim is really really bad, because they are actually bad actors. It's like VTubers always have like that one few fuckers that make like the entire VTubers like look bad. What technically we did. Gosh dang fucking Najib. Like his entire 1MDB fiasco actually caused the entire market crashed, and till now we still like. Do you know why the inflation happened? The inflation happened actually is because of him. The entire world having inflation issues is because the 1MDB money has been flowing out into the gosh dang world, because everyone ran away with the fucking money. Is now like crashing like the entire economy around the fucking world. The inflation issues is actually caused by him. And that fucking fat fuck that ran away still can't be caught. They can't voodoo me. Raja Bomo is already actually Raja Bomo is like, did he got his death sentence or like infinite prison time? I forgot. Basically, he fucked up so bad. Like he it basically is like in some sort of like international news. I don't even remember him now, because like his news is just zero, non-existent. Yeah, that's why I say like that guy is like, that guy doesn't exist in internet anymore. So either he like, again like we still have death penalty, okay? So like this the shit he does, you know, it's really really offensive to the gosh dang Muslim entire world. So I don't know what the fuck happened to him. But yeah. You know, back in the days, like when like electricity in Malaysia is actually not that. It's not. It's like not that. Not that great. I know he's got arrested, but I just didn't know he got like life sentence or like death penalty. But yeah, again, like there's a lots of like gosh dang funny things like happening around the world. There's kind of like makes people like in the optic wise and Malaysians is like in really bad light. If they don't really understand Malaysia, is that is the first place. To be honest, if anyone study Malaysia long enough, they might understand one thing: while we are still playing catch up game, okay, while we are still playing catch up game, Malaysia is actually more American than America. We have religion freedoms. We have super fucking open minded people, and we are not really like backwater country that much. Like you went to a lots of like different city area. We are actually quite developed. And then we have like the culture part like nailed down. We have the various different like food and stuff. Like again, like we have basically the pinnacle of what America want America to be. They want to become a country of freedoms, and like have a lot of people join in opportunities to share their cultures and stuff. The entire thing like in there, and Malaysia already have that thing nailed down a long time ago. So in many cases, Malaysia is actually more American than American is. Right now, America is like regressing, like being super fucking racist as time passed. So yeah, in fact they are regressing, while Malaysia is like slowly turning more and more into America. We've become the America the Japanese want us to be. Hold on, my lips is like severely cracking right now. So I need to Vaseline up my gosh dang lips. See, like it does help at all. I don't even know this thing helps or not, to be honest. I might actually buy a proper lip balm. Who knows? Nah, I hate being underrated as a content creator. Every single fucking time I say like I'm Malaysians, they have like a wide assumption of what the fuck a Malaysian is. And I have to spend like sitting here, spend like an hour of time trying to explain it what the fuck is Malaysia. Like when your job is trying to like let people know what Malaysia is, and then Malaysia is so fucking underrated to a point that they can't even point where the fuck you are. Like I can like ask, do you know where fucking Thailand is? They can point it. Do you know where fucking Singapore is? They can point it. Do you know where fucking Malaysia is? They can't fucking find it. Do you know the frustration when that happened? We are right beside this two country, while some people still assume that the entirety of Malaysia, the West Malaysia, is Singapore. Yeah, technically Malaysia is like the second and a half world country. Yeah, it's again like it's the things that they don't know how to handle the Muslim refugee, and then they become like as time passed, they become like super fucking bitter. It's basically here's the thing: they trying to be kind and open minded, invite all the refugees to help them because moral reasons. But here's the thing, dude: if you don't have the infrastructure to support people, don't do that bullshit. Okay, now you just have like worse optic for everyone. You know. And I do have to say this, like, I hate to say this, but Nuxus sometimes, while he fucking hate Muslim, to the point that I kind of I want to say that, hey, whoa, there, chill down a little bit. I know they kill a family, but still, like some of them kill a family actually, but still, like don't say it like my neighbor like my neighbor Muhammad Ali want to like plot like murder plot on me. Like Malaysia live in a fucking different dimensions while we are Muslim country. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like agree and disagree, like in a lots of point, but he does mention one thing that I kind of noticed. Like you would think like Europe is like very like Western country. When you look at UN, it's like 60% is Muslim people now. Then you might think like wait what the heck happened? Yeah, it's a very different place. In fact, the reason I watched like Scoot more is basically because she's from Hungary. Is she while she speak English and everything, she doesn't actually do jack shit have any like jack shit like thought process of like how most European does, and most like those kind of like like super stupid woke mindset in like the American or the European side. She basically just a normal girl that you can find in Asia. Which the one of the reasons I like her a lot. And also like if I can't openly, call out female being a bitch. So sometimes if I see a very like bad actors but also is a female, I can't constantly call out person like a bitch and that much. I'll be like, you know what, I'm gonna play the female card. I'm going to watch Scoot react to the video I'm react to. So she can call that person a bitch without me calling her a bitch. I just sit there and, yeah, I agree. But yeah, the world is in fucking chaos now. War is happening everywhere. While everyone just like focusing like on the two different places, the Ukraine one and then like the Palestine one, the fact that lots of people actually still do not aware there's quite a lot of war happening in various different Muslim countries too. I don't even know why. Nobody actually talks about them, and then I don't even know why it happened in the first place. I think I'm just like too like, you know, word illiterate. Yeah, like I say, and actually not just like like a lot of like different like Muslim countries having war. It's like there's a lot of countries actually still are in war. People never know. Like the fact that when I ask a random persons or like let them know that actually the North Korean and South Korean, mm, if I remember, the Congo is actually having like a lot of like war. I didn't know Congo is like it's a Muslim country in the first place. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, currently like there's lots of place like it's actually having war. The reason is why like there's a lot of Muslim refugees is basically like there is a lot of war happening like around many places. While there's like the two major like refugee is come from Bangladesh And no. I mean like the stuff that happening in there. I don't know much, but still, like I say again, like the general like refugee like zone right now. There's like two major group, technically three major group. I don't even know like what happened in Bangladesh actually. Um, but still there's like the three major group. I think like Bangladesh one is like internal civil war, internal like stuff like happening, right? I don't even know what happened there. Why there's so many like Bangladesh like refugees everywhere? Do you know it? But yeah, the major like the first two major one is like, I don't know, I don't even know why every country have like a this like very big group of like Muslim like war refugees. Not sure it's like not really sure, but it's like there's two big group. One is like the Ukraine one. Ukraine is actually quite a very it's a very big place. So there's like the Ukraine refugees, and there's a lot of people who are also like the Muslim side of like refugees. Is it Myanmar? Oh, so there's a lots of like different side of the refugees like everywhere. I don't even know where they come from, but I do know the majority is coming from is just um, for me I don't even know where they come from. The Muslim side, and then also the Ukraine side, and there's like the third one which is also everywhere. I kind of forgot that one. Maybe it's like the one you say, the Myanmar one. It's from Asia. I don't know which Asia from. But again, war is actually happening everywhere. Not a lot of people are aware. Even I don't know a lot. I only know a few ones. Like I can't even go and Google search it like immediately because like they got censored. Like most war actually is like very censored topic. Yeah, like we can't talk about like too much things in there, so we can just like mention them as the third group and stuff. But either way, it's just like war is literally happening everywhere. Like you can't even Google search them up. Is because like it's like heavily censored. I think the two war that is the most public right now is the one that happening in Ukraine and the one that happening in the what, the Palestine one. Yeah, that too. Nah, I'm not really a political guy, so I can't really understand them that well. All I know is like there's actually so many wars happening right now around the world, but nobody's talking about the other one or address any other issues, and then they just focus on this two particular war. And South Korean and North Korean, they are not in peace treaty. They are still actively in war. Not lots of people know that. There's no peace treaty at all, actually. There's no ceasefire. Even the Korean is basically literally have like, while they have like lots of like normal things going on, they literally are still at war. Essentially. Yeah. It's really, really odd. When you look at like the entire like history of like the entire North Korea and South Korea, the reason why they have mandatory like in like South Korea they have like mandatory like enlistment, that every single while they kind of like live a very normal life, is because they have to actively protect the goddamn fucking border because they are still in active war. They are still skirmishing here and there time to time. I'm not even kidding about it. they are still having war. While like you see K-pop and everything, and while like K-drama is happening in there, like they do a lot of like stuff. While they do a lot of normal stuff, like in some other front, they are literally fighting tooth and nail with like North Korea. They don't even have ceasefire because those fuckers in like North Korea don't like actively applauding shit 24/7. Kind of like piss me off too is like every single time I see like some a very good webtoon I can read, and then halfway, oh sorry, the author went to enlistment. You had to wait for like 5 years for him to like come back to either 3 years or 5 years to come back to like let him like continue his work. Gosh, fucking dang it. One of the reason like why like T1, like the fakers is like the god of like League of Legends. He's so good at the game, he can actually skip enlistment every single time he wins the tournament. And is it's also like because of his age now, he just permanently get like his like the mandatory enlistment has been waived due to his age and his achievement and everything. That is like holy shit. Oh, oh, that's that one too. I remember. Like remember like that time that like the Thailand and like the is it Vietnam? Is it Thailand and Vietnam or like some Thailand and like some other place like suddenly have like a skirmish war? Even now they're still having a skirmish. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Malaysia's managed to like did something. Oh, Cambodia? Oh. So they have a skirmish and then they can at first like Malaysia's quote unquote the prime minister of Malaysia like in the name of ASEAN managed to stop them ceasefire, but technically it's just for a week. Technically it didn't even like pass a week, they start fighting back again. So they essentially are still having tiny skirmishes like here and there. They never stopped. In many cases, while it's really like guerrilla warfare happening in there, I poke you, you poke me. Um, it's technically a war is happening there. Nah, they still fighting the Thailand part, the Thailand one. Even now, they're still like having skirmishes here and there. So they never really have a ceasefire. They broke the ceasefire like immediately after a few days. I'm not sure right now the development is like what happened now, but it's definitely around the time is like I laugh so much. Well, not because of the war. It's because of like the prime minister in Malaysia is like so fucking proud that he made the ceasefire happen. You know, hate to say this. In ASEAN, actually, Malaysia is the laughing stock of ASEAN for some reason. I do not know why. But look at the government. Sometimes I kind of like know why. Especially that football fiasco. Now we are just known for being doing that shit. Uh why? Even the Johor stood Sultan like like got his foot into that mess too. Like usually we say like Johor Sultan is like the best sultan in Malaysia, but this time he actually kind of like did something funny. If you don't know what happened, okay, um, I think we can play that video. Like, hold on a little bit. This one I can because it's involving football. Okay. Let me try to find a video. Yeah, this one. Not to laugh, but it is a very hilarious situations. I know. I'm setting up. Hold on. Need some times. What's my studio mode? Here. I need to show it to you guys in 4K.
Once considered a powerhouse in Asian football, Malaysia abruptly fell from grace after numerous match-fixing scandals throughout the 90s. The nation was never able to recover from this storm, and a few underwhelming generations later, Malaysia found themselves 178th in FIFA rankings. This was officially rock bottom. In response, the Football Association of Malaysia decided the solution to all of this would be to improve their outdated grassroots and youth development. Now, if you actually believe that, you're probably new to Southeast Asian football. What actually happened was the Federation taking an aggressive approach to naturalization. The process of naturalization is typically through familial ties. More often than not though, most of Malaysia's naturalized players were just randos with no blood ties who would play in the country for like 5 to 6 years. Either way, these new reinforcements would oversee a gradual improvement for the national team, with their best performances coming 6 years later in the 2024 Asian Cup. After qualifying for the tournament on merit for the first time, Malaysia played out a spectacular 3-all draw with South Korea. This may seem pretty insignificant to the average fan of this sport, but you gotta take into consideration that only a decade ago, Malaysia couldn't even beat Fiji. But despite this impressive result, 2024 was kind of a year of turmoil for Malaysian football. Faisal Halim, who scored versus Korea, was victim of an acid attack in May. The head coach who led the national team to their first Asian Cup resigned in July. But worst of all, Malaysia were seeing their hated rivals' naturalization process take them to heights far beyond what Malaysia had reached in less than a year. This all built up into a mass frenzy, because if it's one thing you need to know about football in the Rice Balkans, no matter how much improvement you're making, if your rivals are still better than you, people have as much patience as a middle-aged white woman about to have a screaming match with an underpaid teenager. Around the end of last year, a rumor started popping up on Malaysian social media about how Burnley midfielder Josh Brownhill was of Malaysian descent. The rumor got so out of hand that the Prince of Johor had to personally message Brownhill saying that he needed to make a statement before things got worse, because it turns out he wasn't Malaysian at all. Due to this incident, Malaysia would once more become a laughingstock amongst the rest of the region. And yes, that included nations currently under a military junta, and whoever Indonesia's government didn't massacre in East Timor. However,
again, that's the thing, like, because we are always so unknown, we have this like weird obsession of putting ourselves like on the map, and many cases we kind of like really embarrass ourselves a lot of time.
These were laughs of fools. Fools who had no idea what this nation was capable of. Because right at the beginning of 2025, the Prince of Johor announced that he had identified 6 to 7 players of Malaysian descent. Don't you fucking do it. These were players of decent quality from more successful footballing countries like Spain, Brazil, Argentina, and the Netherlands. And TMJ, the Prince of Johor, was hoping to provide passports to them before Malaysia's Asian Cup qualifier versus Vietnam, a country they hadn't beaten since 2014. Then 5 months later, with 7 new naturalized starters, Malaysia finally got their revenge and absolutely humiliated the Viets. This result pretty much confirmed them a spot in the next Asian Cup, and even better, at the expense of their rivals that have caused them so much of their pain. And at last, Malaysia was no longer an afterthought, as the new look Harimau Malaya would strike fear into any future opponent that was in their way. On September 26th, FIFA announced sanctions against Malaysia after discovering they had submitted forged documents for all 7 of their newly naturalized players. The federation was fined 375,000 euros, which is 1.9 million Malaysian ringgit, while each player was docked 2,000 euros, but on top of that, each of the sinful 7 were given a 12-month suspension from all football-related activities. The funny thing is, though, outside the Malaysia sphere, no one was really surprised because there were so many suspicions from the very beginning of this. Firstly, these newly identified players never had any kind of links beforehand. They just kind of popped up on the scene. Not only that, the actual familial ties were pretty vague, and it didn't help Malaysia when Facundo Garces had a bit of a Freudian slip. All of this seemed so last minute as well, with how every player was announced eligible pretty much a week before the game. And FIFA's investigation pretty much confirmed that, saying that 6 of the 7 players were granted eligibility to play for Malaysia a day before the game versus Vietnam. I need you people to understand the hilarity of all of this, because they didn't do this to beat Japan or even Indonesia. They did this to beat us. Seeing all these allegations, though, TMJ quickly went on the defensive, saying that there were, quote, individuals who are worried about the rise of the Harimau Malaya. Now let's quickly look at that statement for like 2 seconds. Who the fuck would conspire against 123rd in the world? That is a wild amount of main character energy for a country that is seen as more of an afterthought in ASEAN than the fucking Philippines. And then there was the Who Was in New York conspiracy, which basically revolved around the idea of Indonesian FA President Erick Thohir colluding with FIFA President Gianni Infantino. And in an effort to save face, TMJ entertained this theory by posting 4 screenshots that alluded to this idea that pro-Israel.
You know, when it comes to lots of things, you know, like Hassan with like the guy that shot his dog, like will forever be his legacy. XQC that got humiliated by VTubers, Dokiber, that will always become his like ever laughing stock moment. Malaysia laughing stock moment is this. Technically Najib Razak too, but still. And Raja Bomo. Technically we have so many laughing stock scenes. Oh, ouch. Again, like people in Asia, like most of the time we are the lower rank one. The reason is because we did a lot of stupid stuff.
Israeli FIFA punished Malaysia specifically because they were pro-Palestinian. And I guess Erick Thohir worked a deal with Infantino to not.
Let me forward this a little bit before I rudely interrupted.
Idea that pro-Israeli FIFA punished Malaysia specifically because they were pro-Palestinian. And I guess Erick Thohir worked a deal with Infantino to not investigate them, despite the country also being pro-Palestinian. Yeah, I think the prince put as much thought into this as his naturalization process. That's somehow not even the funniest TMJ deflection though, because all on the same day, he used the same news source that just 4 months ago were fooled by a copy pasta I tweeted. I am dead ass. These dumbasses actually reported about how I had, quote, smashed my TV in front of 30 people, which led to my wife taking my crying children to a hotel for a week. By this point, most people thought TMJ was full of shit, but there were still a good amount of people drinking the juice, including footballer Liradon Krasniki. This is not about paperwork anymore. This is about dignity, about integrity, about a nation that has risen, and now certain people and forces are afraid of the rise of the Harimau Malaya. And let's not forget, none of this progress would have been possible without our crown oh, glorious prince, please put it farther down. I'm sorry. Going further into FIFA's findings though, there's one section showing each player's grandparent that was registered as someone with a familial tie, where their fake birthplace is, and where they actually are from. And it is the funniest shit ever. Maria Belen Concepcion Martin. Birthplace, Malacca, Malaysia. Actual birthplace, Santa Cruz de la Palma, Spain. Carlos Rogelio Fernandez. Birthplace, Penang, Malaysia. Actual birthplace, Villa Maria Selva, Santa Fe de la Cruz, Argentina. Omar Eli Ogado
Man,
Gardon.
they live in a
Birthplace,
very long-ass
Georgetown,
name
Malaysia.
place.
Actual birthplace, Caseros, Buenos Aires, Argentina. Concepcion Agueda Alliance. Birthplace, Penang, Malaysia. Actual birthplace, Roldan, Argentina. Nair de Oliveira. Birthplace, Johor, Malaysia. Actual birthplace, Abrecampo, Brazil. Giorgio Irazabal y Lamquis. Birthplace, Kuching, Sarawak, Malaysia. Actual birthplace, Villa de Guernica y Luno, Vizcaya, Spain. Hendrik Jan Hevel. Birthplace, Malacca Straits Settlements, Malaysia. Actual birthplace, The Hague, Netherlands. Grandpa Lionel Messi III. Saba. The last one is even funnier because TMJ really had the audacity to forge documents of someone from a country very well known for keeping track of this type of stuff. Like, did he really think he was gonna get away with this? I think it's a good time to remind everyone that Malaysia did this to beat Vietnam. The investigation also concluded no wrongdoing from the players or the federation, which actually makes things so much worse because this clearly hints at the fact that a higher power is influencing the national team more than the actual federation itself. However, national team CEO Rob Friend denied such an idea, claiming that TMG isn't involved in anything operational, he is merely just a visionary. Solid argument, Rob. If only you hadn't contradicted yourself not even 10 seconds later.
He sets the motivation. These players want to play for him. We want to work for him. This is a world-class staff we have in the national team. And the professionalism that we bring comes from the vision of TMJ. And that's it. He's not operational, right? He's not getting in the weeds. He's our visionary, and that's it. And he sets the vision of the national team. He holds the national team accountable.
It's funny you mentioned that also, Rob, because about a week or so after his spiral into conspiracies, TMJ posted this, all the while Malaysia's federation was trying to fan the flames he created, and since then, he's not talked about the incident even once. Now that is what you call taking accountability 101. Even just taking a quick gander at Malaysia's footballing scene though, it's not hard to see that there's a good chance that TMJ is bigger than the federation. TMJ owns Johor Darul Tazim, which is considered one of the richest clubs in Southeast Asia. And you know, it just so happens that 3 of the 7 players that recently registered are now at that club. Not to mention, one of those players literally said that JDT was one of the reasons he wanted to play for Malaysia. How the hell does every single party in this have less subtlety than a fucking Marvel movie? Recently, the Minister of Home Affairs said that each player complied with Malaysian law and regulations for their applications, all met basic requirements of good behavior, have taken up residence in the country, and have sufficient understanding of Malay. This country cannot be serious, bro. You're telling me all you gotta do as a foreigner in one of the strictest processes of naturalization is be a good little boy? By the way, whatever happened to all those familial ties before? Are we just gonna forget about?
Oh, technically, like, you have to turn into a Malaysian actual citizen. It's actually really, really fucking difficult. Okay? They make it this easy by, hey, he don't have a criminal record, okay? He know how to speak Malay, done. He know how to speak Selamat Pagi, okay.
About those now that they're actually fake and we're just gonna pretend that there's other reasons why they're Malaysian now? Also, what the fuck do you mean sufficient understanding of Malay? Fam, these players couldn't even sing the national anthem!
Sad to say, technically I can't too. I already forgot. It's been a while. Shh, don't let them know. Especially like I still remember back in the days, like even like, you know, we have to do like daily singing. Not daily, like weekly singing on the national anthem in the school. I actually just and then I just gradually learn, like keep copying them to the point that I learn how to sing. But when I was young, I was like, holy shit, I can't sing a single word.
It's already a little questionable when Indonesia uses their naturalization to ignore underlying issues, but it's even worse when you're basically committing fraud which denies actual Malaysians who know what it means to play for their country the opportunity to do so. It's also just a massive slap in the face to fans of the national team because barely anyone on this team actually represents the pride, heritage, and struggle of the average Malaysian person. Now their national team is just a bleak representation of the elitism and corruption that constantly plays double standards with its own people. Malaysia has a severe child abandonment problem which leaves thousands of kids growing up stateless, meaning they don't have any actual documentation. So because of this, they can't attend school, access healthcare, or even prove their identity. And going into adulthood without any of these documents, they can't get a proper job either. They literally have no other option than to fend for themselves, usually through illegal means. Now, according to Malaysia's constitution, these foundlings should be guaranteed citizenship. I mean, they were born in the country. But the reality is, they're not, because of biases and stigmas from government officials regarding stateless children in general. But if you're a foreigner who's kind of decent at football, welcome to Malaysia! It's nothing but an insult to those who have lived in this country for all their lives that may never be able to officially call themselves Malaysian ever, while those who supposedly represent them say Malaysia is their country, even though they've never actually lived a single second in it before this year. By the way, if I haven't mentioned this already, they did this all just to beat Vietnam. Speaking of Vietnam though, if Malaysia's appeal is denied by FIFA, there's a pretty good chance AFC bans them from Asian Cup qualifiers. But don't worry guys, Joao Figueiredo just posted a picture of his whole family. And look! It's an Asian lady and she's old and she's next to him. That is way stronger evidence than literal documentation. Checkmate, FIFA. Malaysia have really fucked themselves this time though. Their naturalization solution they've used since 2018 won't be as effective anymore because of this scandal, so this has to be a wake-up call for them. Because if not, they will easily fall back down to rock bottom when they couldn't even beat Fiji. But what do you guys think about all of this? And also, where are your grandparents from? Me personally, my grandma is from Sabah. Of course though, a massive shout out to all our members, including Janos Balas, German Sayu 7, Jeremiah Owusu Ajimong, Brazilian Fury, Django, Anazir Makalankam, Alex Rod, Ken.
Yeah, by the way, that's the thing that people will forever and ever remember Malaysia for. We can forge document when we need to. And it's official one too. And that's the thing, like, sometimes I don't trust the government just because of that alone. But yeah, that's lots of things happening in Malaysia. It's kind of like, especially this kind of like turn Malaysia into like gosh dang laughing stock at this point. I do feel bad for them a lot. Because again, we got shot taken by idiot that in the high up. We didn't do jack shit, but like again, like sometimes like the higher up stuff not like higher up stuff, not even higher up. It's more like the people from the higher level playground. Kind of embarrasses us a lot. Like we have a lot of achievement out there, but why they have to do some dumb shit like this? Like sometimes like the higher up than like in Malaysia's, like the higher rank people, the top 10% people, always doing some very stupid petty stuff sometimes. And I do state my corrections. I say Johor Sultan, and it is apparently it's a Johor Prince. Yeah, the problem is like they're too fucking loud and too deep into the systems too. They can literally do whatever the fuck they want. Hold on a little bit. I need to take a tiny little break. Oh, by the way, do you know like the Epstein file has been released? and you can't see a jack shit. Like the fuck, like even SCP-1 and SCP-0 have more word than hashtag fucking Epstein file. If you don't know, I think we can play the video about it. That's why I don't think I need to, like, you know. Not just own name. Not a single word. You look at this image, okay? Look at this image. Everything have black line. Everything. So far, what they would say, like, they release 100 page, you only can read 6 word in the 100 page.
Boy howdy, I can't believe it. The title is not clickbait. This is big. Color me blue and call me a smurf. I'm looking real stupid right now because I've been quite the Scrooge bah humbugging, saying that it'll never happen. They'll never release the Epstein files. And look what happens. Random Friday evening, they drop these puppies. Oh, you know, the same Epstein files that the government also tried to say aren't real are actually a huge hoax and you're an idiot if you believe in them. They're like the Tooth Fairy or something. No such thing. Oh, well, here's those Epstein files that we said not long ago weren't real, by the way. Finally, all of the information on all of these evil pedophiles right here at our fingertips. We get one sentence and then pretty much everything else redacted. And this isn't some isolated incident where I'm cherry picking shit. The bulk of these files are heavily redacted and heavily doesn't even do it justice.
They are paged like...
all real are actually a huge hoax and you're an idiot if you believe in them. Information on all...
Like, that's the thing, like, they are so many page, 100% redacted. So many page.
These evil pedophiles right here at our fingertips. We get one sentence and then pretty much everything else redacted. And this isn't some isolated incident where I'm cherry picking shit. The bulk of these files are heavily redacted and heavily doesn't even do it justice. It's so beyond that. Like, it is redacted to a comical degree where it would...
Yeah, if you zoom out, this is how black it is. Like, every single document page, you only can read about, like, 5 to 6 word. While there's, like, multiple paragraph and image in there. They're redacted so much to the point that... Yeah, they're redacted so much to the point that it's just black when you zoom out.
Be laughable if it wasn't just so blatantly evil. Like, look at the thumbnail here. You could close your eyes and see the same thing that these files show you, which is just nothing. Darkness. I always said if they do release it, it'll probably be heavily redacted. I didn't even expect it to be this extreme. This is crazy. They don't even let, like, a couple of, like, rogue words fly, like random, like, the or and. It's all just blacked out emptiness. They released hundreds of pages of... It's unfucking believable. Yeah, we've really got these evil pedophiles on the ropes now. Now that the most transparent administration in history has dropped these puppies fresh on our laps here. Look at this. Wow. We've really got them now. We've got them cornered. Surely they'll be held accountable with this out there.
We'll talk about blacking out. I don't know if I can get a close-up of my phone. This is one of the documents that the Justice Department released. It's 100 pages.
Right.
This is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see. It's
fucking
all
square.
black. It's just 100 pages of redaction. That's the transparency we're getting here.
Right, and I'll point to...
This is like the LaCroix of Epstein files, where it's the idea of the files themselves, not actually providing anything. Imagine scrolling through those 100 pages of just pure void emptiness. What the fuck? That is absurd. Now, it's not just these empty files that they plopped out there in the open. They did also provide a lot of new photos that show people like Bill Clinton with Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell, as well as like Chris Tucker, even Michael Jackson. Like, there were a large amount of photos that weren't previously public. And in those photos, there are individuals whose identity is redacted. They have like the giant black square over them. They've been censored. And I thought that was supposed to be for victims, you know? But according to what I read, this actually comes from Fox News. They said the Justice Department redacted the names and identifiers of victims Fox News Digital has learned that the same redaction standards were applied to politically exposed individuals and government officials. What the fuck? Why would those same redaction standards be applied to politically exposed individuals? That's like the most important individual to be exposed in these Epstein files. Why would that under any circumstances be suitable for a redaction? That's fucking crazy. So, like, they can just be censored out like it's fucking Super Smash Bros. Melee when you're about to unlock a new fighter through, like, a challenge approaching you. Why? That makes no sense. That should just be reserved solely for the victims here. I don't understand, if this is true, why they would be able to redact that kind of information on politically exposed individuals. And it doesn't...
At least we know one thing. This fucking paper exists. The document exists.
Doesn't apply to all politically exposed individuals, clearly, because Bill Clinton is completely unmasked here. He is just like raw out in the open in these photos, as well as others, like I mentioned. So it was, I guess there was exceptions for some of them. I'm not exactly sure how the ruling all worked. There's like a bunch of like nuance to it here. It's very confusing, but under no circumstances should there have been exceptions for these politically exposed individuals in the Epstein files and photos. That's really peculiar, and that really seems extremely corrupt because they should all be going to jail. Like, take, for example, Bill fucking Clinton here. This guy's like the Ronald McDonald to Jeffrey Epstein's empire of child sex trafficking. This guy is in so many photos with so much evidence to support how deeply involved he was as a client. We now have even more photos of him, and still nothing has happened to Bill Clinton. The only person with more photographs with Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell is Trump. And speaking of Trump, he is doing everything in his power to ensure Maxwell has the easiest time imaginable. Maxwell, the only person, by the way, who has ever faced even an iota of punishment for all of the innumerable, unthinkable, heinous crimes with Jeffrey Epstein's empire of child sex trafficking, the only person who faced even the slightest punishment, he has now ensured went from a prison to a fucking summer camp where she gets to, like, pet training service dogs now, and she lives luxuriously there. It's pretty weird. I think it's very odd that these files are so heavily redacted. I think there's also a very good chance that the photos released were probably not the entire kit and caboodle. I would bet there were probably even more photos that we don't have access to and have probably been completely burned and buried somewhere.
That guy loved to take selfie, okay? Not like selfie. Love to have like a cameraman around him. Every single one visit him, he take a camera shot, okay? He definitely have way more photos than what we know.
Somewhere that just don't exist anymore. That would be my guess. And if you're wondering about any new photos of Trump with Jeffrey Epstein or Maxwell, there's not really anything new there, but he does appear in a few of these photos they released, like this one where there is a framed photo of him with Jeffrey Epstein and Melania in between, as well as this right here where you can see two different pictures of Trump in the drawer. So overall, no like new photos of them together, but there is a framed one and a couple in that drawer, so he did like to keep photos of Trump around of the two when they hung out. And it's hard to say if there's any new evidence there because there isn't anything new in the files themselves since it's all fucking redacted. So the only thing like new here are some of these photographs, which also are redacted. And while I thought it was supposed to be reserved solely for victims, it seems as though there is the potential that it was also used to hide politically exposed individuals. I don't know if that's 100% confirmed or not, but there is now a lot of hoopla saying that this doesn't comply with what was actually sought, and they are looking to pursue further action because they redacted so much that they weren't allowed to. So I guess we'll see how it all shakes out, but holy shit, I still cannot believe what they released here in the state that it is. I can't believe they thought this would go over well with literally anybody to release hundreds of pages of pure redactions. That's unbelievable. But as far as the new photos go, I don't see how that's not actionable to at least try and investigate further. In particular, someone like Bill Clinton, who's here constantly. This guy's popping up like it's Where's Waldo, but he's really easy to spot. I don't understand how, if all of this information has existed for this long, and even in this administration that was denying its existence, why don't they do anything about what they have? I feel like it should warrant, at the very least, some further poking around to see what the fuck was happening here. Like, it just makes no sense to me until you start to realize that all of these people in power, this administration, the previous administration too, who also didn't release anything of substance when it comes to the Jeffrey Epstein case, still nobody's been punished. It's very clear when you
most of
realize
the
that
cases,
there
all the
are
top
people on
1%
both sides of the
is in there,
political
so they
aisle here
can't
that are implicated,
show it
and
at all
should someone
because
like Bill Clinton
they
fall,
need their
there's a chance
taxes.
that many others do too, that they don't want being exposed. I think that's probably why there's been so little action being taken. It's just so fucking sickening how blatant this corruption is, just out in the open. And now with these documents they released, if you can even call them that, it's even more clear as day just how deep this rot goes. It's fucking absurd. Anyway, I had to yap about this a bit. That's it. See ya.
Yeah, it's like one of the most stupid things, but at least we know like the document exists. Okay? That's the least thing we know. Oh, yeah. And also the
If you
essay
went through and
extortionist Nina Lin has been like fully what again? Like fully banned in Twitch. Yee.
Tallied all of my predictions I've ever made across my time on the internet, you would probably find a worse record than the 2008 Detroit Lions. My correct predictions versus my incorrect predictions, it's not even a competition, it's an embarrassment. I have a near X-Men-like mutation where if I make a prediction on something, I basically manifest the exact opposite into existence. But when it comes to Twitch and my hypotheses regarding their rule enforcement and how they're going to handle shit, so far, haven't really missed on that. So Nina Lin, I've made a couple videos on. She's quickly become one of my least favorite people online. I feel the same way about her as children do about broccoli. I think she is just terrible, and even just having her put on my plate, I want to flip the table. She is just a truly destructive, annoying lobotomite I cannot stand. She also got away with sexual assault that was broadcast on Twitch and unapologetically treats it as some kind of joke that her victim should be embarrassed by, that he even thought that he was sexually assaulted. She openly treats it as though it's no big deal, even though it is blatant textbook sexual assault. But anyway, I'm not going to just regurgitate.
Yeah, like I did talk about this a lot too. It's more like feel bad for those guys too. Like this guy's Toast one is the worst one. Is I know the Sate thing is like bad, but this guy's Toast one is also like in a situation he cannot do jack shit about it. It's even worse. It's like gosh dang open in the public. Like if I know you like to the point that you can slap my boobs and like laugh about it. You know, my man boobs, and then you laugh about it. I'm fine with it. But I don't know who the fuck you are, and then you decided to grab and jiggle my gosh dang ass. This is a different case then. In the open, with camera.
Regurgitate everything I don't like about her. It's basically everything. And a little while ago, she got banned for stealing from Target, and then she also went on stream to talk about how she's actually stolen a lot more from Target than we even think she did. So she received a ban for it, and a lot of people were thinking that it might be permanent. I went against the grain and said I think under no circumstances will it be permanent. If Twitch doesn't ban her for a literal crime, sexual assault, I can't imagine they're going to permanently ban her for stealing from Target. So I said pretty boldly, puffed out chest, that I think this will be like a week ban at most. It's been longer than a week, so hats off to Twitch. They've really done the difficult decision here to keep sexual assault superstar off the platform for longer than a week, but I don't think it's going to last too much longer. And last night, a lot of people sent me a tweet claiming that Nina Lin had been permabanned, which got me pretty excited. I was pumping my fist saying, yeah, whoopee, all right, cool, that's great news. I'd love to be wrong about my Twitch prediction. Now, where's the evidence? Did Twitch make a statement about it? Where's this coming from? Put that shit in my hand so I can start licking that shit like a lollipop, like my nice little dessert here. I'd love this to be true. But I can't find any information on her being permabanned at all. Just that single tweet that now a lot of other Twitter accounts are reporting. It seems to have just been pulled out of this guy's asshole. I can't find any statements on it whatsoever, so I took that with a big grain of salt. And then this morning, the sexual assault savant herself weighed in on this rumor, saying, "Ain't no way MF's making shit up now. Y'all are obsessed. Don't worry, I'll be back. Should I do a trailer just 'cause of this?" Even just reading words from her is annoying because she has to intertwine her fake bravado into everything. Oh, it's just so fucking cringe. And what does that even mean? Should I do a trailer now just 'cause of this? Like, that's her response to it? Oh, you made up rumors, huh? Well, you forced my hand. Now I'm gonna have to go down the nuclear option of making a trailer. Didn't want to have to do this, but now I've gotta. Okay, I guess. How tough. The only thing you should be making is a job application. Don't nobody want to watch a fucking Nina Lynn stream. Genuinely don't get who the audience is for sexual assault superstar Nina Lynn, because her shit sucks. The people watching that have to be the most stinky, unlikable losers imaginable. Like, all she does, especially post-sexual assault, is just go out in public and yell. And that's kind of it. She tries...
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, she's basically Johnny Smalley, okay? I don't know why people watch Johnny Smalley. I don't know why people watch Nina Lynn.
So desperately to make it seem like she doesn't care, but everything
Kids,
she
maybe.
says, every word she types is always like, can't wait for them to be mad.
But if it's kids, like, where did the money come from?
Oh, you're gonna be mad. These hoes are so mad. Post it on Twitter. Fuck your mom. You're mad. That's all she ever talks about. That is not the behavior of someone who actually doesn't care if it's the only thing that's ever in her empty fucking brain. It's so embarrassing. But anyway, the point of me yapping about this again was just about that rumor of her being permabanned. I'm not convinced. There's no evidence to suggest she actually is permabanned. Yes, she is still smited as of this moment. She's still banned. But I don't think that means it's going to last forever. Though, round of applause to Dan Clancy and the Goof Troop over there at Twitch for keeping her banned this long. I didn't even expect it to be this long of a punishment. But again, I don't think it's going to last too much longer. They're probably on the edge of their seat, biting their nails, waiting to...
Like, to be honest, like, if it's like what I learned from Tecto, is like Twitch have this escalation, like, pyramid ban systems. It's basically, it's like, oh, first 1 day, second a week, third a month, and then like the next one's gonna be 3 months, and then like permanent ban. But sometimes they do get a leniency, even though depends on the reason of banning. So like, even like you ban for like 3 months, they might actually give you a grace period of like, okay, we just ban you a month. Like they will give you a ban discount. So really depends. But either way, yeah, I'm going to like pause this a little bit. Yeah, this like just chat stream has been like staying here quite long enough. For around like 2 hours. I want to like take a little bit of break. I don't know why I feel like so fucking sleepy today. I'm not sure that I can like do any like drawing stream today too, because like, again, I'm so tired. Either way, maybe like I'll do it tomorrow. I do like a stream tomorrow after I finish playing Marvel Rival. Originally, I was going to play Marvel Rival this morning, and then I kind of like realized that. And then I was like, holy shit, Marvel Rival! I forgot to install it. I deleted it because I have to install the update of Monster Hunters. So yeah. And also, like, this morning, there's someone, like, also asked me about, like, my VGen stuff. Like, after I woke up... No. Someone actually asked me, like, some, like, my VGen, like, service stuff, so I need to do some answering. And I also realized that how lack of detail some of my tryout section is, so I'm going to detail more of the stuff. At the moment, I closed down my animations, okay, animation stuff, because I need to write more detailed things into it. Actually, originally I did wrote a lot of things, but VGen being VGen, like something happened, it didn't saved, so I need to write everything again. which I would say, fuck this. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot I still need to like fix up and stuff. Let's publish it first. I don't want to later on like have this thing I have to do. I'll go and take a nap and then wake up. If I really have energy for doing like a night stream, maybe I'll do it. But I don't think I will because I've been doing my morning stream back again. I need to slowly readjust my wake up hours and sleeping hours so I can wake up even more earlier to prep up my stream, so I can keep doing like 8 a.m. stream to like 5 p.m. stream, and I can spend my nighttime either like doing editing or like play some games with my friends. I've been neglecting my friends a lot lately, so yeah, I want to like spend more time with my friends and relax a little bit instead of like always like trying to push myself to do so many things. So yeah. Either way. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, guys, stay healthy, stay safe. Until next time, stay tuned on the next stream. Bye bye.